There we go. Welcome. Welcome back to our next session for our toolkit series. One that we started, Robin, it feels like many years ago now. The toolkit series is the latest iteration. And if you've missed any of them, you can find our previous versions on YouTube. We talked about Canva, we talked about video, we talked about photography, websites, webinars, podcasts, all sorts of things. Now, Robin, give us a bit of background for those who might be new on the call today. Where did this all start?
It started, I think, with the two of us sat in a room having a conversation at one stage and thinking about how do we sort of support shape commercialization. So that's for disciplines like in the arts, humanities, social sciences. And by commercialization, we mean, trying to get your research out of the university, get it to sustain and have impact and ultimately scale if possible. And any step along that sort of journey, we wanted to provide sort of support. So we've been working with Aspect for a couple of years now. Aspect is a consortium of universities. If you're not aware of Aspect, your institutions are likely members, which is why you're here today. They have a huge amount of resources available, including all the backlog of our webinar series. And yeah, it just keeps growing, and we just kind of love watching this kind of take off. And so if you want to sign up for the micro credential, there's a QR code here. Lucy will also put it in the chat as well
I'll
a
put the
couple of
link in the chat
times.
once I've stopped sharing. Yeah.
And so you can register for that along with any questions. But yeah, so essentially this is around how we help academics and support staff progress projects, and we just find little bits and pieces and experts. And welcome to Joyanne as well today, to see see how we can progress.
You've already
So
got
yeah,
homework
over
in the
to you.
chat. We like that. And when we first started talking about this, AI wasn't even a thing. So a couple of years ago, Joanne, we're looking at Canva, we're looking at quite traditional, and even Canva didn't have AI back then. This series is all about AI. And what we hope we'll do over the six sessions is inspire you to try something. Joanne's going to get you trying something live, which I think is amazing. We're going to have a go as well. But we've had the landscape with Jonas. We had Tim talking about the effect, Nick talking about the workflows, Tim talking about the platforms and the apps. Website today, we're going to be building something today. And then we're going to getting into demonstrating impact evidence and then gamification. So lots of ways of exploring how you could use AI in your project and the different tools that are available. We also, as you know, if you've been on this before, we're not going to get into the ethics of how you use AI in your institution. Please go back into your institution for that guidance. We're generally trying to look at tools that are free. We just want you to experiment and look at how and the applications that you could practically apply to your project. So do what feels comfortable to you is our key advice. But do experiment. I think that's really important. Joyanne, good to see you.
Good to see you
I'm
too.
ready to do some work now. I like this.
Yes, I will need participation. We're going to go at speed today, but any problems, anything, pop it in the chat. I'll be glimpsing the chat every now and again, but stay with me. Let's run through it and let's see what we can get at the end of it.
And you
So,
can always watch it back. So a lot of people are like, this is quite an intense event. It'll all go on YouTube afterwards. So you've got that to refer back to.
mhm. Lucy, can you see my screen?
I can indeed, yes.
Great. As mentioned, my name is Joanne Boyce. I am a consultant, a founder. I am a responsible AI consultant. If you have those questions, find me on LinkedIn. But today we're going to dive into AI and building a website. I've consulted with companies all around the world with ways to do inclusive marketing, marketing overall, and then I made the pivot to AI as a way of growing what I love to do. So, for today's session, we are going to hopefully dive into a lot and have you end with something useful, practical, and something you can implement right away. So start thinking about these questions now. We're going to go through it, but I want you to set your overall project website goal, define your audience, research competitors, build a website brief, review all of your prompts, and then generate a site. So I've already put in the chat there that I would love you to have a Word doc open, your favorite AI tool. That could be ChatGPT, Copilot, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as it's an LLM tool, and have a Word doc that you can copy and paste the outputs on there. If you have those two things open, I want you to pop a thumbs up emoji in the chat. I want to see that everyone is ready to go because we're going to move at pace. One emoji, come on, more. Okay. Thank you. The emojis are coming through. Love it. All right. We've dragged you here, but why do you need a website? Now, a website is a home. A lot of people focus on the social media aspect of getting their word and their essence and what they're doing out there, but the website is the home where people have a base to go to. So having a website lets people know that this isn't established, this is the thing, this is where I can always refer back to, whereas the social media post might disappear, the link might disappear, but the website is the base. And it helps people to find awareness, it helps you to get found on your project, but it also helps to establish a credibility. I don't know if anyone else had this or if you scroll Instagram as much as I do, but when I go into someone's Instagram and their Instagram links back to their Instagram, I'm just like, oh, you're not a proper business or a proper project or a proper thing. I need a full website domain hosted somewhere. And additionally, when you have a project, it's nothing like having something up and running that makes it feel official, makes it feel like, yes, this is the next stage of where we're going. Overall, it doesn't need to be and say everything. And I know I'm talking to academics. As an academic in my, well, I come from the other side. I talk in tweets, as you can tell. It doesn't need to say everything. It needs to say the key bits, the key goals, and the key oversight. It doesn't have to have every single detail of your project on there, but it's the home for the high level information. So you need to start with the goal. Now, I am curious because I'm a nosy person, what people's different goals are for their projects and what they're researching. But whatever your overall project goal is, you have a website goal for people to understand that. And then you need a goal for the reader. So, what do you want them to do? Do you just want them to sign up to an email? Do you want them to read and register? Do you want them to download your study, your case study, your report? What is the action? The goals help to make sure that we have momentum because once someone gets into your home, you invite them for a cup of tea. That could be the goal. Or you tell them take off your shoes because, you're like, don't wear shoes in my house. But they get to your house, you need a goal for what they're going to do. And helping you convert those goals into marketing goals. So if it is that you just want people to find you and be aware, that goal's awareness. And you're succeeding in that in terms of people landing on your website is growing, the people following your social platform is growing. If that number's going up, you're growing awareness. If you want people to be able to see you and choose you and convince that what your project is working on is really important, engagement. So you want them to take some kind of action. So either like a comment, or if it's your website, sign up to your newsletter or go onto another page, spend time on that page and read what your project is about. If you're selling something and that sell could be a free sell as well, like you want them to download, you want them to contact you, you want them to sign up for an event, that is conversion. So these goals all matter. And the more you have a solid goal, the better you can see where you're going. So, first action. Lucy, tell me if I've had 3 coffees already this morning, so please do tell me if I'm going too fast. But the first action, write one sentence about what your website needs to do. And for anyone who wants to share this in the chat, feel free to share it to give other people inspiration. I'm also curious as well. What does this website need to do? Does it need to create awareness, have credibility, connect and inform? We've got one in the chat, connect and inform mental health researchers. So it needs to bring community together. This website needs to provide information on what? April Louise, I'll ask on that one. Just add a little bit more. What does the website need to do? This website needs to be a findable repository for teaching resources that teacher can find exciting. Ooh, nice. So it needs to be helpful to have the information, needs to excite people, and needs to find practical things. Sell products, straight to the point on that one. Love it. This website needs to make people want to stay and explore other pages. Okay. That one is interesting because that's just the goal of a website in general. What does the website need to do in terms of your project? Let's break that one down a little bit more. April Louise is back. Information on research project, the journey, outputs, and what's next. Oh, so that website needs to make sure it provides people enough information of the project, the overview. Needs to be a nice, well-presented home so they know what they're signing up for. Great. Valencia, show my skills and experience. Love that. So that's a project website of like what you've done, where you're going, who you are. So that's really good. That's a good one pager. Another one, branding myself. Nice, nice. This website needs to raise awareness on the programs and encourage, I don't know all those acronyms, to engage with research. So help people to take action. So you want to break down research and help people to take action and be involved. And then we have summarize our research findings, raise awareness. Oh, hi, Frank.
I like the fact that it has to do magic.
Ask,
Are we going to
do
build magic
magic.
websites today?
Okay. Do magic, let big businesses with lots of money find me. Love that. So it needs to be clear to the point. You need to know that their action is that they have to pay you. So,
And you've got to use their language. Again, you
mhm.
just identified an audience there, which you're going to come to. If that's who we're talking to, you'd use different terminology.
So everyone's got that written down. Put it in your Word doc. Give me some thumbs up. We're moving on to the next part. Everyone's got their one sentences. I want to see some thumbs in the air. I cannot sing, but yeah, I got some thumbs. I can move on. Fab. Now, you have your what you want the website to do. Now, who are you talking to? When we do strategies and when we do anything, we want to know the overall goal and who the audience is. Typically, we'll put together this for our clients where we go through the personas, the needs, the pain points. This is a high level view of those individuals that you're targeting. Overall, you don't need that much, but you need to understand what their pain points are, what their key needs are, and for someone who said the money element, what their budget is. Because if they have no budget, then you don't want them landing on your website. Simples. Here's an example of one we did for a chocolate company. So this one, the key needs in profiles and personas, you can have more than one. I will start with one. Today we're going to focus on one, but overall, sometimes you might have, going back to the business owner, you may have someone who is looking for the people and then they have to hand it off to their senior manager. For the individuals who are building profile, you might have a persona that's looking for a speaker at an event, and you might have a persona that's looking for a consultant, and your one pager needs to speak to both. But they both need expertise. So that's the overall goal. That's the pain point, that the key need that they need. So I'm going to pop a prompt in the chat, and I want you to use this prompt in your preferred AI tool. The goal of this prompt is to get your preferred AI tool to interview you on who that persona is. So we're going to take a little while, but while you're doing that, you don't have to look at my face. You can go and look at your AI tool and pop it in there, and it should start asking you a bunch of questions. This is the first time I'm doing it live, so we're having
It's
fun.
working with me. I've gone off to have a chat.
You've gone off to have a chat. Okay, I'm going to do it on a tool I'm revisiting, LeChat, which is the European AI tool, if anyone doesn't know about it. What is your project about? Let's see, cats.
Do
It won't let you
you want to give
copy
it
it.
lots of information in this point? Oh, I can copy it. That's
Ooh, how can we make it copyable?
mine. I could. So yeah, I could put it in the chat as well. Yeah, mine was fine.
Can you copy Lucy's?
Yep. Mine copied
Let's
out.
see.
Okay, you can try. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put it back on the screen. So if you are on a MacBook, you can screenshot it and it will take the text out the image. Actually, you're all using AI tools. You can screenshot this and put the image in the AI tool. So the copy
Screenshot
is in
work.
the
Brilliant.
chat.
Yeah, we've got some feedback on that.
All right, screenshot it and chuck it in the AI tool. It can read it. For those who can copy, here's the text again. Nice, nice. I'll leave that on the screen then. Great. I should be asking you some questions, hopefully some useful questions. They can be problematic. Why did I sound like Donald Trump then? I don't know.
Problematic. Let's not go there.
It came into my brain. I was like, why did I sound? Nope, nope, nope. Okay. Now, I've put a time limit on this. AI tools can go quite in depth, but you want to get it to a point where you feel confident. If you feel like it's asking you far too many questions, then you can ask it to wrap it up into a persona profile. And if anyone has their profile and they want to drop it in the chat, feel free. I'm curious to know what people are getting. How's yours going, Lucy?
Well, mine is rambling away, so I'm just asking it for a persona profile now.
It goes,
Uh, I've been doing, oh, it's quite long.
yes, it will be long.
Wow. There we go.
This is why I said get that Word document ready.
Mine's massive. Hold on.
Which tool
Okay.
did you use, Lucy?
I'm in ChatGPT.
So ChatGPT knows a bit about you because you probably have history on, so it's probably pulled from previous chats.
So there you go. I'm going to put my, oh, hold on. Oh, now it doesn't want to paste in there. Oh, maybe it's because it's too big. It doesn't want to paste in there.
You can ask it to give you a two-word summary.
Oh, okay. Well, I was building Bath Digital Festival website and I talked about encouraging tech professionals who don't want to go to festivals. So my persona is the reluctant tech attendee.
Hmm.
They could be a developer, engineer, product lead, UX designer. They're interested in good ideas. They probably hear the word networking, imagine name badges, awkward small talk, and people pitching at them over warm wine. This is exactly the gremlin the website needs to disarm. So it's got very cheeky in my chat GPT, but yeah, it's got a really good, will I learn something? Will people be interesting? So it's talking about why they'd come, the core, and what the website has to overcome and what the website should promise. Yeah, it's really good.
Nice. So
Um,
bonus tip on this one is if this persona is something that you're really like going to actively go after for many, many months or years or so forth, you can create a agent of that persona. And then you can continuously feed it your marketing content and be like, what are your thoughts on this? So
Interesting.
save that. If you haven't done agents before, there's can I swear? Nope. Yep. Shit tons. Anyways, there's shit tons of videos online about how to create agents. Depending on your platform, there's different ways the AI can help you figure out how to make an agent of it as well.
So I've put that in my Word doc as well.
Yes. So
Cool.
put that in your Word doc. So you have right now in your Word document, you should have your top line, what the website needs to do.
Yep.
Next section is your persona. Some
Good.
thumbs up if you have your persona, some thumbs. One day we're gonna get really good with technology and like I'm gonna ask for a thumb and it's gonna like hit me like from the roof. Sarah, not yet. Don't let it take you too far, Sarah.
It
It
does.
might
Yeah,
take
it
you
kept on asking me questions. I think I did what you suggested and said, right, just get to the point.
get to tell it to wrap it up. It can be a bit wordy because we're going
Yeah.
on to phase
It
two.
and it got grumpy because it said, based on what you said so far, this is a first persona. It's a working version. I was like, yeah, I don't want to talk to you for hours, chat.
As someone who has fallen asleep talking to Claude, don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Oh, okay. So if you haven't got it yet, ask it to wrap it up, put it into a persona profile, copy and paste that. Let's move on to competitor
And
analysis.
Roberto, you've got your hand up, but unfortunately we're webinar mode. So if you have a question, please put it into the chat 'cause that's the way we can engage with your question.
Okay, I got a couple more thumbs up. All right, so competitors. Now, they are useful. If you tell me that you don't have a competitor, I will ask you, what are you doing? Because there's always one, there's always someone doing something similar, close into your Word document. So you should have a Word document open alongside your Copilot or whichever AI tool you're using. So competitors are important because it helps you to know what the market wants and what's going on, and it gives you inspiration as well. So for those who are looking to reach out to business, they're probably people that are providing that service for your persona already. For those who are looking to build a profile, set up their CV, set up them as a public speaker, who else is talking on the topic? I want you to go and find three personas or three competitors in your area. I like to split this into one that's similar. So in Lucy's case, maybe Brazen is a festival.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
One that's aspirational, so maybe
South by Southwest. Yeah,
South by
exactly.
Southwest. Yep,
Yeah, yeah,
yep.
yeah.
And one that's useful. So one when we say useful, it's one that you know your audience already trusts.
Yep.
So if they haven't gone to your or done your thing, who are they already going to? So if you're looking to build a profile of yourself when you're public speaking, who is the next person they go to? Like my aspirational in terms of my public speaking would be Dr. Joy Bulawini. She has a TEDx, she's out there, she's doing shit. Useful is a responsible AI consultant in Essentia in London. Similar is just any AI speaker in Bristol. So I would look at those three, pull them together, and get the URLs. Yes, we are getting the URLs of those. When we're building the profile, ooh, it's moving real fast. We tend to look at all the links and content, but today we're focusing just on their website URLs. But this is an example of when you do a full SWOT analysis of your competitors, you can look at what they're doing well, what platforms they're on, and it can help you decide where you need to be as well.
Where am I putting their URLs?
Putting the URLs into your Word doc. You're going to need them for the next section.
Cool. Right.
So now we're going to do a competitor review. So I'll pop this in the chat. So the one line about your project is what you're going to use on this one. The personas that the profile you just made, and then the links. So you can see how we're building from the content.
I'm just getting my competitor links.
Good. Anyone having difficulty finding a competitor? I can probably, if you tell me the area you're in, I can tell you something close enough if there's nothing exactly like what you're doing. I know most people are in research, but there's probably a researcher out there who's really famous for the topic you're talking about. Descendant, scholar, history, heritage, please. Ooh, you know who came to mind? There's the guy on the is it BBC? He's got locks, a black guy, and he just talks about history. That's who came to mind when you said
David. Oh, what's his
David,
surname? House in Time, isn't it?
David something.
Yeah, hold on.
Yes, yes,
That's the
whoever
one.
everyone's
Yes.
saying. That's who came to mind, and that would probably be aspirational because I think his speaking rate is like 10K or 20K or something. I don't know. I saw him on a website one time. So that's someone. Another one that came to mind is not necessarily in that area, but in America, there's this guy who sits down with celebrities and goes through their heritage and tells them that they was connected to another celebrity. Do you know who you are or something like that?
Hmm.
Lewis Gates, maybe. But yeah, it's interesting as well, April Louise, because they're all men. So I'm like, I'm trying to think if I know a woman that does that. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's an element of Oprah in there, a little bit. Not really, but a little bit in the sense that she sits down, she talks to people about who they are and investigates. It's a little rogue, but she is getting to know people and know their history in a different manner. Oh, yes. I would put her there. I have her book right now, actually. Um, is it possible to share your screen so we can watch as opposed to do? Yes, if everyone screenshotted it, I can chuck it into my other one
Have
as
we've all
well.
got that page. I've got that one.
You've got
Cool.
that one? All right,
Yeah.
cool. I am going to have to think on the fly of a topic. So who's my primers audience? Cat, owner, mums who have four or more cats living. I don't like animals, just for context. Someone asks, what is UserX? So UserX is user experience, so it's how someone engages with the website. Did your AI ask you that? Okay. Let's. So yeah, use If it asks you something you do not know, you can go back to it and say, hey, I don't understand the context of that. But yeah, user experience is how people engage with a website. And if it's looking at your competitors' websites, it's probably looking at how easy it is for your target persona to engage with their website. I'm actively using a large language model that doesn't know much about me, so I didn't expose any of my client details. Um, cat food for vegan moms who like pineapples. How's everyone doing with their competitor analysis? Mine don't really have personal websites. Interesting. Maybe use their LinkedIn's.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say if they don't have personal websites, use their LinkedIn's. LinkedIn should be scrapable as well. What did When it comes to cat food, what do they care most about? And how's it going, Lucy?
Oh, well, mine's looked at the three websites and it said, let's take this bit from Brazen, let's take this bit from South by Southwest, let's not take this bit from South by Southwest. They're the scale-driven spectacle, unless you want Bath to feel inflated. So it's looked across all three and it's looked at where we'd fit based upon our personas and our kind of, it doesn't know much about Bath Digital Festival, but yeah, it's created a one-page flow for me. It's ready almost. Well, now I need, no, I mean, I'm going to hand over to you, but I know what I need to, I think I know what I need to do next.
Okay, feel free to drop it in the chat. For those of you who aren't working it along with us, let me know where you got stuck or let's figure out how we can get you interactive because the goal is to get you something, at least a plan. Uh, Anne Marie said, it's given me a refined blueprint for your one page. That's good.
Sounds cool. Yeah.
Hmm. The other element to understand with it is going to either know a little bit about you, so it's going to pull from there, or it's going to give you something that's generic, but these are where you're going to edit and go. How's everyone doing? I'm thinking, Lucy, do you mind sharing your Word doc thus far, actually?
Oh, I've got it open in chat at the moment. Do you want me to share my chat screen?
Yes, so we can give it for people who aren't able to do it with us.
Yeah. Let me. So I hope you can see this. So yes, it does know me. Hence, you can see a whole pile of random things down the bottom. So the website for my project, the Bath Digital Festival, 3-day festival in Bath, and this is my questions around who I wanted it to be for. I said, I want to go for tech professionals, a persona. That's my reluctant tech attendee. So thinking about where they are, but where they were connected online, what it has to do for them. And then I put your prompt in,
Hmm.
and that persona just reiterate it, and who my competitors would be. Let's do that one for you. That's that bit from there. And so I put so Brazen, South by Southwest, and the Ideas Festival in Oxford because I thought that's actually it's got quite a high tech attendance level. And so yeah, it's going. It shouldn't be a mini South by Southwest or another event. So it's gone and reviewed those three competitors, as you said. It's people doing similar things with different flavors. So I think competitors is a strong word, but it's people maybe aspirational, people we can learn from, people who've been doing it longer. And it started bringing it together, simple, attendee led, explore the program. So it started thinking all the way through on this one. And then it's looked the strong one-page flow of what the hero should, the call to action, as you said, the clear value, and it's got the website brief in one sentence.
Nice.
It's looking good.
Nice, nice, nice. I'm absolutely loving it. We've got Jimmy in the chat saying it gave a summary of the three websites plus a summary of what I should take to my own site. Good. Lots. If it's wordy and repetitive, tell it to cut down, tell it to concise. This is the time when you're building your website that you really get to see what the tone of voice is. And
Mm.
what you don't like is really good to tell it. I don't like this, I like that. Um, and to adapt is tone of voice, because that's the other bit that is going to be really important. Fran said Michelin did the layout with a nice table, clear bullet points. Nice.
Ooh,
Sounds like it knows. Have you used Michelin before, Fran, or is this the first time you're using it? Because
I've never used that. Ah, nice.
first
Okay,
time, nice.
cool. But as you say, it's taking away from the blank sheet of paper. You're already winning. If you're starting to tweak and go, I don't like that wording, I don't like that approach, it's so much easier than starting. Back to when we used to build old school websites, you'd be like, well, whose website do you like? We'd start that, wouldn't we? We'd kind of, because it's so difficult.
It's so, so tricky. And this is where you go through the process. So what you should have now is a very, very long Word document of your one line about what the website needs to do, your persona, and a description of your competitors. If the competitor analysis is too long, you can ask it to give the high level important summaries of what you need to take to your website. I think some people already got that. So I think uh Fran, you'd probably just copy over the table and put that in your Word document. Paul, you can pull out the bullet points you like. Yeah, you can ask it to make it 200 words. Yeah, cut it down, get it to be concise. It will ramble. It wants to give you as much context and content as possible. So, how's everyone feeling? Why didn't I ask the AI directly to compare with competitors? So, the reason I say you pick it, because the most likely the way it's going to go is go out and scrape either what's most popular or what's been most mentioned. Those aren't necessarily your competitors. You can, in a separate chat, ask it to list what it thinks your competitors are and go find it for you. But I would still say you need to review it, because what you don't want happening is that it's just picking the most generic thing and putting that in there. So
We're
you
not
finding the
selling widgets,
competitors.
are we? We're not washing machine manufacturers. I think there's a lot of nuances around your projects and your peers that chat, as you say, just wouldn't get.
Mhm. But it also depends, Abdullah, on how much time you spent with your chat and how much it knows about you. So on the basics, some people are using their new chats now, which don't know anything about them. I would say go find it. If it knows a lot about you and you've been using it for a while, then yeah, you can ask it to find the competitors for you. Oh, I click and then I click and then I click. So some have already started to build that out, but what you want to take all of this is you want to make sure that you pull it all together in what you need for a website. Your tool might be jumping ahead to that point already, but if it's not, we've got another prompt to help pull that together. So, whenever building something in AI, you want to have a PRD, product requirements document. Gonna put this in the chat. This one's a nice one. Those who can't copy from the chat, feel free to take a screenshot of it and drop it in. A product requirement document is essentially a very detailed document that outlines exactly what the goals are and exactly what needs to be done. It has the key information. So where you've collected your one pager, your persona, your competitor analysis, the product requirement document is pulling all of that together in the context of what you need. Because right now it's been talking about all of that for you. It's saying you want a website, but it's been giving you a lot of information, all these things. We use the words that are techie in these cases because AI understands it the best. So the product requirement document is your final thing that when we're going to go to our website development tool, that's what you're going to take over. If you're in the same chat window, you can just put this prompt in there and it will pull it from there. If you've done multiple windows, depends on your style, you can go from that area. For those of you who aren't following along, I would say have a look at product requirement documents in general. Let me see what it does. I'm going to see what the chat is going to do. I haven't given it any context, so it still wants my project name, Cats on the Roof.
I'm getting asked lots of questions at the moment about just really fine tuning what should attending feel like for this audience I've got now. It's really getting into the emotions of it.
Hmm. We're
Yeah.
pushing it to the limit. This could easily be a half-day project. I would limit yourself at half day because you can go in. When you think about how we used to build websites, website development could take up to minimum 3 months. And we're trying to condense that into half day into an hour because there's a lot of decisions to make. I would say you can get a lot of decision fatigue. Um, the more detail you give it, the better it will be. I'm just going to skip a lot of steps. How's everyone going with their PRD? Drop it in the chat if you are going well, finding it useful. Is it asking you more questions to refine it?
So many questions. I might have to tell it to stop in a minute.
Yeah. If it needs to stop. Oh, it's creating it now, Jimmy. I like that. Okay. I don't use LeChat as often as I should. I am a Claude user. I need to come back to it. It's updated its infrastructure.
The spinning wheel of anticipations. I'm just going to stop mine from asking me questions now because it's just, I think it will go on forever.
And this is where you need to know the limits. I would say, like you can see what's happened with me and LeChat, it's got to the area where it's like, well, you haven't given me context, so it's left it blank. If it's filled in context that you don't want it to, or if you ever want it to just finish it, say, leave sample text where you want me to put in more context. But overall, this one page is what we're going to take to our website building.
Mine's a very long one pager. There's a lot. There's a lot in there. It's good though.
All the details.
All
All
the
the
details.
details. Some of the things that I haven't covered in, but yours probably will when it's asking you, is the tone of voice. How do you want it to be written? How do you want the text?
Yeah, I've got what's the one call to action? How do you want them to feel? There's kind of that emotional experience of the website.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
Oh, the freeness has stopped working. Oh,
yes, yes. All the AI tools have been cutting back on their freeness because of the cost of tokens. My latest analogy on that is think of tokens like calories. They're not giving us free calories anymore. They want us to pay per calorie, but they won't tell you how much calorie is in the apple. They just want you to eat the apple and pay later.
ooh.
Yep, yep. All right. Ooh, Gemini flash mode, nice and succinct. Anne-Marie, I'd love to know if you've been using Gemini before. Does it know that you like succinct language? How's it pulling it from there? Okay, let me switch back to my slide. So, ooh, in a half a day project, you would go over and you'd look at this in detail. You'd go over, you'd sleep on it, you'd come back and you'd be like, oh, is this right? Is this what I
You
want
might
to
run it
say?
by somebody who's working with you or knows you. You get a different perspective, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot of time where you get perspective. This is even where the same way you created your persona, you can create a persona for a website auditor and ask it to go through it. You can go ask it to do the SEO. There's a lot you can do,
Mm.
but the goal of this session is to where we can get you to that version one as soon as possible. So let's go on to the website builders themselves. Now, this is the bit where it really doesn't matter. As long as the builder takes a prompt, you can use Lovable, you can use Canva, you can use Wix, Squarespace, Framer. There's tons of them out there.
I'm going off into Gamma because I like Gamma.
Whichever one you like, there's tons of them out there.
Thank you.
Um, I'm going to use Canva because that's my go-to for quick things like this.
I don't think
I
I've
don't.
ever built a website in Gamma, in Canva rather.
So Canva AI is quite nice.
Yeah.
Mainly because I use it for projects that don't really have any.
So you've just gone, that's just the home page?
So this, I've gone onto Canva and then under drop down, if you click more, you get Canva AI.
Okay.
And then you can click the code option and pop your prompt in there and it starts
Oh,
going.
okay.
The other reason I use Canva is because then you can take that design and put it onto a website in Canva and publish it and I have a URL right away.
Wow. How much of this can you do on the free, talking about tokens?
Ooh. I haven't been on a free Canva plan for a while. I
Just to
think it
put that,
probably let you do one.
yeah, just to put that as a caveat is that we not all, as you just said, everything is changing quite rapidly, isn't it, in terms of what you can do for free.
Most tools will let you get the first pass, and then as soon as you want to edit, they'll ask you to pay.
Mm.
Canva I find is the most affordable because it's 10.99 a month, I believe. And you get it hasn't limited me on tokens as of yet. Whereas some other tools, even though you're paying the 10.99, you can only get a couple of pass or a couple hundred tokens or whatever, whatever. Canva's just like generate at your heart's content thus far.
Cool.
While that's off, I'm gonna show you some of
Mine's
the,
building as well. How's everyone doing? A cut and paste now, excited. I've chosen my theme.
this was one I did for another project of a milk scanning tool to tell me if something had oat milk in it or not. Or no, cow milk. Because yeah, I'm lactose intolerant. As an example of things Canva could do. How's everyone doing? Let me know what AI tool builder you're going for. If you need the overview again, you
Mine's
can pick
building.
Lovable, Canva, Wix, Squarespace. Lovable will give you free first version. Codex, nice. Yeah, ChatGPT has it. That will code a website straight onto GitHub for you as well. Still need to buy the URL. Anyone else share what AI web builder? If you don't know which one to go with, I would say go Lovable because on the account straight away it'll let you build something. Let me pull up Lovable actually. Mm, 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 mm. Haven't even logged in. It's like, yes, build something.
Mhm.
It's probably gonna ask me to log in now. Is it me or Lucy or is my internet starting to lag?
No, you're okay. Well, it's reviewing audience messaging structure right now on your Happy Cat Kitchen.
Happy Cat, it gave it a name. I love it. I love it. How's it? Give me some thumbs up if you're building away. I
Do
want
you
to
want to
know.
see what I've made?
Yes, go on.
Can I show you what I've made? Hold on, share. So here you go. Bath Digital Festival. Worth leaving the desk
Ooh.
for. Learn something visual, people without pressure, for anyone working in tech, themes with substance, talk showcases, sessions. And I haven't published it. Obviously, there's a publish button there, so I could make this a live thing. But yeah, this is just based upon what we've put, what it's running. I mean, this is a long one-page scroller, but you've got, and there's obviously things you'd want to, I haven't put the real content in. There's no links to the program there. I didn't come for the session, stay for the conversation. This is all, it's made some bits up, but that's okay. As you say, it takes it from this looks all right, doesn't it?
Yep. And some of the things, because of the work I do, I can spot the bias. It loves a deep blue or a blue when it comes to anything related to tech.
Yeah.
It loves a blue.
And I'll twiddle
Um,
around with some of these. It doesn't look perfect, but again, this is something that's editable. Yeah.
April Louise, Lucy used Gamma.
Yep.
Gamma, let me get the link for
Gamma.app.
copy link address. Oh, that's a long link address. I don't know why it came out like that.
Oh, hello. Yeah, it should just be Gamma.app.
Yeah, yeah. I tried to copy it from Google, but Google said no. How is everyone doing? I'm using Lovable. It's currently crafting calm editorial framework. Nice. Let's see where I've gotten to on.
How is your Happy Cat Kitchen coming on?
So,
Oh, freshly harvested bowls. Hello.
okay, nice. There's some things that doing it using these AI builders just makes things easy because you have
Jimmy's got
things
a
that
website.
you forget. Whoop, Jimmy has a website.
Oh, Robin. Robin, did you want to show us your website?
We've got some. Ooh, yes, Robin. Where's yours?
Um, yeah, can I share? Is that
Yep.
Yeah, bear with me. Ooh, reclaim post. Make post. Yeah, go on. Hey, Robin, let's have a look at what you've made.
so? I have built a website called Shape Navigator. Let me share this. Might have overdone it a little bit.
What have you built it in Codex?
I built it in Codex. So I've taken the prompts that we were working on through from ChatGPT and put it onto this. So this isn't part of my, university work. This is my own sort of separate account and things like that. So I can use it for this type of work. So essentially, the idea with the website is to help researchers figure out ways to navigate from research to impact. So that could include creating ventures or doing consultancy. And so there's a kind of three-step process to sort of put in your idea, figure out the pathways, and kind of give some information. I haven't really gone through all of this to see what it says, but it's lets you explore possible pathways. So this is the idea, I guess, that you can click on, what do you want to do? You want to generate some sustainable income. What stage are you at? So you've tested.
This is really good.
I need some partners, or I need help with IP, and it kind of gives you some recommendations. So contact your consultancy services team or your commercialization transfer office. Yeah,
It's
so
really
that's
good.
that's all right. So it's giving loads of. So this is something I want to work on anyway. So it's given a kind of version 1.0. I did have some background information already to load in, but nothing around like the website or the UX. And I did add in, I guess, from the competitor analysis, I also asked the question, what were kind of similar websites that might do stuff well in different fields? So it came up with like the NHS Navigator tool and something else. So I did sort of suggest to kind of put in some design features around that.
Nice. So you expanded on it. You used what you knew and then went out to say, go find me some stuff that is good as well.
Really
Exactly.
good.
Yeah. Will I stop sharing?
Cool. My cat on the roof. Oh, no, I can't share.
You
What?
should be able to now.
No. Lucy's now host. Still not letting me share.
Okay, bear with me a second. Let me reclaim it. And then you're now host. There you
Okay. Oh, technology.
go. Gotta love it. Got a couple of questions in chat about what happens when you add these amazing ideas into platforms around protecting your IP.
Yep, we'll dive into that on a high level. So, cat on the kitchen. First, we had, I think Lovable did a quite simple version, went with a green. I think because I mentioned vegan, it will lean a certain way, gave me a pricing plan. I didn't mention any of that. So it's lots of things. The goal of this is to give you a base for you to edit backwards from. So you're not starting completely from scratch. Uh, Canva, get fresh cat food to your mum, specifically pulled out the lines from my product requirements document, gave me three things. Like these are all things I would go back and edit. Even gave me an example of like, hey, cat mama 5, I'm gonna do this. Again, price plan. These are all the things I should have thought about, but I wasn't able to because I was doing it in such quick time. But the goal of this is to give you the base of what you need. And if I was to do this in Canva, I'll just click publish, and Canva has its own URL. I would call it cat mums are, nope, are us. Publish.
I've put my little Bath Digital Festival Gamma site up. If anyone wants to read some random stuff that ChatGPT's read about Bath Digital Festival.
And I want us to
Um,
click on the cat mums. But yes, let's go into these questions. Da, 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 da. Do I want to do? Yeah, edit it. It's not the be all and end all. I had a prompt. You can just chuck in the PRD there. That doesn't matter because we've moved on past that. Make sure to check for things like accessibility, privacy, accuracy, tone of voice. A lot of these AI tools are based on American language and American content, so you have to remember to edit that. So let me stop sharing and let's dive into these questions. Okay. Any advice on Lucy, when are we going to? Half past or one?
Half past.
Oh. Any advice on what to do if I've already got a WordPress website? WordPress is becoming obsolete. Can you merge AI? So I don't think WordPress is becoming obsolete. I think that this is where you start to look at how you can improve it. So if you already have a website, now is the time to think about what can you improve and have the AI guide you through becoming a WordPress developer yourself. So that's the shift. I feel like if you already have a WordPress website, now your shift is, instead of you trying to figure out what to do next or hiring a WordPress developer, is getting inspiration and building it in partnership with a Gen AI tool. So I don't think it's coming obsolete. I feel like WordPress is still a good platform on the basis of you own it because it's open source, so it's not sitting in a platform and you can move it elsewhere. So it's still a good platform, still very important. And I think that's probably going to be it. When they brought out side story, I was once the social media manager for Bristol WordPress group, and they were really upset when they brought out the drag and drop Guten something something. And I had to tweet about it for an hour, and I really didn't get why they were upset. But there's probably going to be some WordPress AI tools coming out or aren't already out that you can engage with. April Louise asks, what happens when you add all these amazing ideas to these online platforms? If you want to protect your IP, is it better to go to a website designer despite being more pricey, or would they just use the same tool? So, well, on the website designer tool, it's likely that they will use AI. My assumption now is that everyone is using it in some way, shape, or form, intentionally or not intentionally. Because if your website designer is using Figma to design your website, Figma has AI integrated. Each of these tools have privacy models where they're saying, like Figma, for example, says they're not training any of their models on the AI, not train any of the AI on the designs of the users of their platform. When you go into ChatGPT, you have the option to turn it off and say you don't want to feed into the model, you don't want to help improve it. My personal opinion on this is if you treat all of your data like taking sand to a beach. Now, visualize that. Beaches are freaking huge. There's tons of sand on there. Your sand is your sand. That's your personal IP. But once you put it on that beach, the chances of someone else finding it is very slim. Still possible. They could stumble across your sand, your grains. The chances of you being able to pick up every grain of sand you bought there, possible, but you're not going to be able to because you don't have access to it. So treat it like taking, so anything you're putting on a website is going to be public in any way, shape, or form. One. So think of that, think of the personas. Two, if it's something that is really, really important, it shouldn't be going on your website, therefore it shouldn't be going into an LLM. So keep that separation of the IP. If you are going to use an LLM to help you with anything, there are ones that you can use that are not connected to a wider source. So those are called open source models. And those ones are the ones you can download onto your computer. It depends on how technical you want to be. Some is very simple, but then that just self-contains it. And you can still use an AI tool to help you build it. The worry in that scenario, April Louise, is when you're using an AI tool that's connected to a large provider. So your OpenAI, your Claude, those are all connected. Copilot's all connected. But think of your IP like sand to a beach. If it's fine for you to take that sand, if it's fine for you to talk about research you've published, if it's already published, it's fine to use it in an LM. I hope that answers it. Let me know. Sophia, if I want to maintain a website for a long period of time, usually personal website, what would be the most affordable platform? Ooh, affordable is such an interesting question. So the most free platform, or the cheapest one I know, is one called Card. And that's what I built. Let me. Da, da, da. The cheapest one would be to build it in code and host it on GitHub. But don't think you want to do that. So this platform's called Card, and I think it's literally £16 for a year. And this is the cheapest one I know. It's not AI. You'd be taking what you've developed in the AI and then putting it here. But it's the first website I ever had. It, I bought it and I was just like, okay, cool. Had a domain, forms. It has all the basics you need if you're worried about costs going up. So yeah, £19 for the year. All the other ones outside of that, you're paying monthly. So Wix, Squarespace, Lovable. But if you just want something just posted up, sitting down a domain, I would say Card is my recommendation. Other parts of your question. Uh, yeah, so again, you did say about GitHub. Yeah, you don't have to commit to monthly fees on Card and open source. So yeah, that should answer your question. If you give it a try, let me know. I'm very curious to know how it is nowadays. It's been a long time since I've used it, but it's a good base. Uh, April Louise asks, can you use the same tools like Canva to craft and design reports and sim? Yes. So Canva, definitely. Gamma, definitely. You can craft PDFs and so forth. Most of the Gen AI tools can make a good PowerPoint. The issue you have is when you need it to follow a particular brand guideline because they're not good with they're not good with anything that isn't a hard corner, basically. They like their squares and their edges and their lines. So you can get them to make PDFs. You can put that in your prompt. I would say go through the process similar to what we did. Figure out the goal, what you want to do, get all of that, then ask it to make it into a PowerPoint or a PDF. Don't start there because it's going to take a lot of tokens to rebuild the PDF every single time.
Quite often with Gamma, I will build the foundation of my presentation in it, and then I'll take it out to PowerPoint to add my logos, because you're right, there's just certain bits it doesn't always get, but you can export them and then tinker around in a different tool. So this is a bit like we were talking about with Nick. It's like there's a stack here. Then they're very rarely perfect at everything. You might have to use a couple of tools, as we have on this session. We didn't do it all in one.
Yes, and I call my tools my puppies, but I literally have daily I'm using one, two, three, four, five, six AI tools in a pop. I've lost you guys again.
Yeah, you're still
Um,
here. We've got on the next one, sensitivity risk issues with such websites like data scraping dangers if they contain any personal data.
I'm not sure in terms of publishing a website, there's a risk of it being scraped. Yes, anything you publish can be scraped. You can put in uh, a block TXT file, I believe it's called, but the chances of that not getting scraped is unlikely. Again, treat it like Sancho Beach. You should only be putting things public that you can. Anything you put online in any form, even if it's in a Word document, it can get hacked. So just mindful of it. The same data protections you would apply in general is what you should apply with AI.
Yeah.
It's very easy to launch a new website based on this, but
These tools are so flexible. So obviously I'm playing around in Gamma. I can edit everything. It's also got an AI editor support. So you can go and say, I don't really like that visual. Can you do something else for me? So they're very living, and and it's again not like having to go back in the end. It's not like the back end of a WordPress site, which isn't for everybody. You are just talking to it and going, hey, can you change that color? Can you change that diagram? It doesn't always get it. Gamma and diagrams, it can't see what it's done in a weird way. So you'll
Mhm.
say to them, I don't, it's got 10 arms or something, and it will go, I can't, it doesn't see 10 arms, it just sees the image. So sometimes you have to talk to it in a certain way, but yeah, it's very editable.
Definitely. It depends on the tool, I will say though, because
Yeah.
with Canva, you kind of have to re-edit the whole thing versus a certain individual. So if you want something specific, go back to your traditional tools like your Squarespace, your Wix, even Lovable, because those are made for website development. Like Gamma has a specific thing, but it's not made for graphs. So I would say there's another data AI tool you can use. The AI, like any tool, when you use it for the specific thing it's made for, it's really good at it. Um, da, da, da. Into a 4-page site. Um, so the editability is dependent on the tool, not necessarily your prompts or what you put in. Even with Copilot as well, now it allows you to highlight certain areas and ask it to edit there.
There's a nice, actually links quite nicely to Ruth's question of how scalable is a website, maybe something like Lovable if the project grows. And I think
So
Robin's actually showed that how Robin already had like a at the top, didn't he? The directory of all the different pages. So his had gone a lot further than just the one page.
Yeah, and as you want to scalable, something like Lovable lets you take your code off. So that allows you to put it on a GitHub or somewhere else. I would say if you're planning, if you want to scale but not be in code, look to your Wix, look to your website, your traditional website builder platforms, because they're already set up for that. Like your WordPress and so forth. It's still a matter of using AI with those tools rather than completely building an AI version. One thing I do find some people slip up when they build out, because you can build it in ChatGPT or Codex or so forth, is that they're not always aware of the sharing permissions and the security element. So some people slip up there and they end up exposing things they're not supposed to. Whereas if you do it in a website builder platform that's using AI, it already has those things that you don't think to ask about. But always a good prompt to ask, what cybersecurity risks am I exposing right now? And it will tell you. Um, Coolios, keep dropping your questions in the chat. If you have a link that's live, would love to see it as well. I want to see what people will be able
Yeah,
to
come on,
build in
share
this
your projects.
hour.
You want to see this? So Bennett said, sorry for a very silly question. No questions are silly. Why is card not AI? Anything on my laptop I regard as AI. It's just, it looks like it's a traditional builder. It's not helping. It's not doing the thinking with you, is it?
Yeah, it's not doing the thinking with you. If it was AI, the prices would go up. I think when I first used it, it was like £4. They
Mm.
can't. It's just hosting sites. It's drag and drop. You put in what you want. You build it. So if you were building a website on Card, essentially you'd be copying and pasting things out of your Gen AI, your Chat GPT, whatever, into Card and building the website manually. It's not going to build it for you like the other ones. Okay, let's see where we got
But also, sorry, it
to.
had a 7-day free there. So again, you could go and have a play. You could log in and see if you like it or not. And I think that's a good thing too with all these tools is go and find the one that thinks in your logic, as we've said across all this series. They do very similar things, but slightly differently.
Mhm. Very similar, slightly differently. The way you can edit, the amount you can do, even the tone. The goal of all of this is for you to understand that your knowledge is supported by it. It can't replace you. And all of this as well is not going to, I can show you all the prompts, but in terms of getting you a completely user-friendly, UX-friendly, all of the things for your target audience will still require you talking to your audience and would still probably require some kind of website developer to translate what they're saying. Because the lovely thing about being in marketing, what people say they want is not actually what they do want. So you have to figure that out. Um, so my cybersecurity prompt was if you are there any cybersecurity risks in deploying X? So deploying on card or gamma, is there any data leakage you can see? Those are very technical-ish terms, but yes, let me see. Copy. Let's have a look at this site. Nope, that is Control C. Okay, Alexis, were you able to build
I'm
it? Oh,
I'm
I've been
getting the
in.
login page on that. So, oh, you've got so you can see it. I can't see it. I'm going to log in.
I've been invited. I can. So the link you've just sent, just to let you know, this is the other bit about AI bits, is a link for everyone to edit. So everyone viewing this, do not edit. But you can make comments. So I'm liking this.
Looking good.
But this goes back to what I was saying about it will take iteration. So with user experience and me having done a lot of websites and stuff, there's certain things here that would change. Like you would either have the logo or the word LinkedIn in the top bar. I would make your logo bigger. The text to background contrast is not strong enough. So one of the prompts you can ask it is to do an accessibility scan of what you've built. Um, I would naturally change these. If are these universities at the bottom, I would change these to the university logos because people recognize logos more than they recognize words. It takes our brain longer to process that. And then your text up top here also, I would cut down. So one of the things to be mindful of, AI loves words. It's a large language model for a reason. It will put as many words, so you constantly have to tell it to cut things down. Similar here, I would cut down. I'll keep the rule of three. You tend to see a rule of three or rule of five, a rule of six, a rule of eight on websites. Three is the easiest one for one pager because people are able to scan. Keep that in mind. They go from left to right. You never also you have to tell it to get rid of the M dashes.
Mhm.
Ongoing AI issue. It loves the M dash. Did you describe the acronym up top? No. So I would put the description of the acronym somewhere up top, maybe here actually. Because if you're going to use an acronym, this is probably the third time I've seen it, but then the description's down here.
Mhm.
Mm-mm. The contrast is better here on the colors. Nice. You can put the profile. It's left aligned everything, but with a design like this, I would center align it. I'm using these specific words because when you ask the AI to do it, it will understand it because that's UX language. But this also goes back to my point of we can only get so far with AI tools in general. The people who have the expertise in building things from scratch can prompt better, and the prompt is where all the skills lie. Uh, da, da, da. See, something like this, yeah, you could either hide it, do an accessibility check now. I love it. Um,
This is a live demo within a live demo. We like it.
a demo within a demo.
But you know what? Again,
Nice.
this is brilliant because we've gone from a concept to a tweaking now. We're gonna move that. We're gonna highlight this rather than trying to explain all of that.
One of the things I would say as well, it went straight into build mode. So I would do it in plan mode so it can tell you before it starts editing things.
Yeah, it does get
Because
excited, doesn't it? It immediately wants to change, but it
immediately
will
wants to
undo
change
stuff.
things.
Yeah.
And that's all AI tools in general. They go to action first, whereas you want them to plan with you, then action. And they are building in plan mode and build mode. So you can either say go into plan mode or you can tell it in this chat, tell me what you're going to do before you action it.
Mm.
Let's have a quick ponder on what it said here. Ooh. So see the live. Um, okay. It's looked at the WCAG AA. There's WCAG AAA as well, which is the very detailed accessibility. Contrast, it's added some contrast elements there. It's looked at the secondary, yeah. Toggle menu, but it hasn't added alt text with toggle. Yeah, this is all good. Let's pop on to another link.
We've got
Anne-Marie's.
Anne-Marie's one. Yeah.
Ooh, nice. The Quiet Center, it is giving quiet vibes. I was expecting a hero image to load here. So the hero image is the top. I would say for a landing area, this is quite a bit of text. The American spell, yeah, always American spelling. So I would cut down on the text here and add some kind of hero image, something that emphasizes the quiet.
My version's got an image.
Mhm.
So I think there's some changes on that. Yeah.
April Louise asks, are all the websites? They go to the generic. So there's some things, are all the websites on the platforms made the same? There's some things that are standard, like a logo being in the top left is kind of standard website usability. So you'll see something similar. The differences come into the prompt. So you do see some trends like the rule of three. You'll see it across.
Yeah, Anne Marie, I can see the coffee cup. There we go. I could see that. There we go.
Wait, why did it?
I know, because that's how it's
Huh.
coming from my screen. Yeah. But I agree with you. You might like that. Again, tweaking, you might want that there. Yeah, exactly. But for V1,
For V1 is good. What I think may have happened is because I have a wide screen, it's not responsive. So that's another thing to go back and edit is ask to do a responsive, what's the word? Basically, you're trying to assess whether your website is responsive on wide screens, medium screens, and mobile phones, and
Yep.
then it can look for these errors. The default of most AI tools is to build where you're building this. If you're, and the default of most web developers as well, actually, they kind of build what they want. You tend to have web developers, the people who either build for mobile or build for desktop first. And
Mm.
then once they finish all the designs, they go back and look and say, oh, it doesn't fit on the other one. I'm like, you should have checked. You should have checked at the start. But yes, I am liking the coffee cup. I'm imagining it here. I would still cut down on these words a little bit more because I can't, if I was to blink, I couldn't tell you, Anne Marie, exactly what it was. But for your mind, quick 5 minutes, like it. It's left align things again. I might center align. The spacing is nice. The spacing fits what you're trying to achieve, which
The
is nice.
calmness. Yeah.
Yeah. Some quotes, good. If I, because of the calmness, I might add people, images of people, or images, icons of heads. But this is good. This is a good first pass. All right, who else dropped a
We've got a couple
link?
more. We've got Ruth and we've got Jimmy. So we've got a couple more to look at.
Okay. Ooh, a teacher's inquiry. Huh, this one's caught me off guard because it's not gone conventional. Because there isn't a, what did your prompt say? Hey, I like it. My off guardness is not a dislike. It's just the go-to things I expect, the banner image and the thing has thrown me a little bit because I'm like, oh, okay. But that could be a good thing in the sense of now the only option I have to click or the only thing I'm drawn to is this button.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
The
Understanding how
call to
to
action is very clear, isn't it? Share your experience. We want to hear from you.
straight to that. Um, mm,
I think
so
it's
yeah,
quite fresh.
I
Yeah.
like it. I do like it. It's a unique vibe. It's very, yeah.
And you could add images, Ruth, if you wanted to make it sort of richer, sort of. It does look different. I like that.
I want these to be options for some reason. Again, I'm skimming the information, I'm not reading it in depth, but there's something about how this is laid out where I would think these would be expandable and it would tell me, it would answer the questions, basically.
Here's, I'm finding you the link. Bear with me.
This project brings teachers together. Yeah. So what you can do with this even more, because I think, let me look at this in mobile. Yes, it's built for mobile as well. Nice.
Oh,
I
that
feel
looks
like this
nice.
experience is better in mobile,
Mm.
which is again, when you're thinking about your personas, where are they going to access it more? And most
Yes.
likely teachers, they might be accessing it on mobile in between classes or something. So ideally you want to build for both environments, desktop and mobile, but where they're at is where you want to focus on. I'm liking the notebook vibe. I'm liking the quick information, the drop down. For those of you who wanted to know how I did that, by the way, you right click on any web page and go to inspect, and then you can change it to mobile, responsive, iPhone, all of those things. Little developer option there. Whose website was this again? Okay.
That one is Ruth.
Ruth. Okay, cool. American spelling. Yep, yep, yep. Now Jimmy's. Oh, Ruth's development network. Yeah, it gave that vibe. Definitely. Jimmy Hay. Okay, off bat, the first thing that's catching me is that it hasn't put constraints on the responsiveness of your website. So your logo's all the way over here when I'd expect it to be here. So you can pull in your margins more. Filmmaker and researcher. Again, assumption, watch the films. I would want, because you're in film, the go-to for film websites is that the first thing that loads is the video. So you can go down that narrative. you can go down the other narrative, but people expect videos to go. But based on your topic, I can see why you would want to give people the option to watch the film. If it's about grief, then you don't want it to come off the bat. Um, tells the truth about grief. I would put this on a separate line because that's your statement. Fiction cinema rarely tells the truth about grief. Pause.
Yeah,
These films try to.
much more powerful.
Hmm hmm Nice. Okay, now watch the films. The film will load. Okay, so it's kind of given an overview of the project, taking a person on a journey of each film. I'm liking that. Little synopsis under each film. So the film stands on its own, and then you kind of get the context. I like that. Uh, da, da, da. And then publicate. Yeah. Layout wise, this is a good one pager. I can see this. The only change I would say is whether you want to pull people in, but I think on the topic, actually, the choice to have the films later is good because if you have several projects, the only thing you can do is a show reel up top. And I'm not sure this is a show reel type of content. So I like that a lot.
So Bennett, you need to make yours public for us to view it. It's currently a private lovable, so we can't click through and actually view your page.
Okay. I'm glad that's helpful, Jimmy. I'm also very interested in your films because I do think that's an interesting topic.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, when you go back to Lovable, just ask it to think about the responsiveness and pulling in your logos and your menu. One thing we didn't cover in this session was brand palettes. When you're looking at competitors or when you're trying to think of what is your palette, you can either ask the AI to create your brand guidelines and it will pull out some colors, some fonts to make sure it's consistent. Because what can happen is as you go through different AI tools, they default to their generic one. Going back to someone's question earlier around they all look the same, they do tend to default to it's like a G name, Greg Reference font. They do tend to default to a font that is generic. So you kind of want to pick your font. There is it Joy? There's an AI
But
tool for everything.
Bennett's asked how we make his lovable website public. I don't know. But I think Joanne might know. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to Google it. Let's see how it does.
If you've invited me as an admin, I should still be able to see. Oh, request access. You should get a notification if you
Yeah, that's what I've done as well. Yeah.
if check your emails about it and then it should give you another link.
You should be open your app in the editor and click publish in the bottom right, in the top right
Preview.
corner, and set the access permissions to public.
If you want to pick your fonts and you don't want AI to pick, well, it's still AI matching them. This website I love, it just generates font pairings and just continuous font pairings. And most of the font pairings, which are on the side here, are free Google fonts. So this is another way to make your site different by saying what the font pairing you want rather than letting the AI to choose because it will just go to the most generic one. Font Joy. Then my other tool in terms of colors, if you want to, what was it? Color at, oh, which one is it? Oh, there it is. Coolers,
Yeah.
coolers.
And I think that's why people are always looking for like a tool for brand palettes. Yeah,
Yes.
that's lovely.
So again, don't spend 10 years. Is there an AI tool for brand palettes? Yeah, there's ones that generate the palettes for you. Again, you can ask the AI to the whichever AI tool you are using to generate your brand palette, especially the ones that make PowerPoints. But yeah, this one, it just goes through a bunch of colors. You have different visualization options, you have different settings you can adjust of how you like it. But what I tend to do if I find a color I like, I lock in on that one and then I continue going until I find a color palette that's like, yes. All of these platforms have some form of AI involved in them now. Well, I'm a sucker for green. But once you find the color palette you like, you can screenshot, especially where it has the hex numbers at the bottom, and feed it to
Mm.
your Gen AI tool, and then it can start incorporating those colors there. Barnett, did you figure out how to do a preview? Let me go back and see. No. Okie dokie. Badoo, badoo, badoo. On the color palette ones, you can also do them in Canva. I know I'm overselling Canva here, but it is a it is a good platform. I've been
Good
stuck on it
tool.
for years. Got a preview, but can't see where to make it public. If the preview, chuck the preview link in here and see if that works for us.
Canva's just really handy. That's its frustration, isn't it? April, you know, I mean, I've got a Canva account as well. It is very useful.
I have had a Canva account so long that when they changed the pricing, I was able to make them stick me on the old pricing. I pay £100 a year for Canva, and I have like 5 people on there. Right now, that would be what, 10.99, 120 times 5. Yeah, it would be a lot more.
Yeah.
And technically, I am a brand ambassador, April Lose, but I just never remember my link. I just tell people to use it. It's also most accessible. I think if you don't want to spend, the nice thing about Canva is if you don't want to become an expert in the thing, it is enough. Whereas some other tools, you end up becoming like Figma, you end up having to become an expert in the tool. The Canva color palette, you upload an image. So if there's an image that interests you, and then it creates a color palette for you.
Mm.
And you can explore other people's palettes as well.
Good to get
Let me go.
inspiration.
5 more minutes to wrap up, so we'll do this one quickly. No, still didn't. Well, if you find the link, Barnett, feel free to send it to me via LinkedIn. I'm happy to give you some feedback on it as well. Anywho, that was all the things. I'm glad we
That
managed to
was
get
so much. That was so much fun.
some live sites. That was my goal. I wanted
And
to get
that's why we
everyone
wanted
into
you
the
to not
motion.
overthink it. Just have a go, put some thoughts out there, see what it builds. And you're already editing, you're already critiquing, you're already thinking, what do I want it to do? As you said, where should that go? That needs a different image. I need to get rid of the M dashes. You've already moved on from where you were an hour and a half ago.
hmm
Thank you,
hmm
Joyanne. That was so much fun.
Would love to know, out of a scale of 1 to 10, how's everyone feeling now about building their own website? 10 being, yep, I'm gonna edit it and publish it next week. 1 being, I'm scared as hell. Okay, lots of 8. Nice, nice,
It's
nice.
good.
Okay,
And this is the eye-opening. Thank you for that feedback because it's basically we all hear about these tools. We're like, well, where do we start? So this is the whole, well, we've started now. They're already less daunting. We can have a play.
yep. Move from a 1 to, that's a big leap, Sarah. 1 to 7.8, nice. Uh, Dragon tool I spoke about. What dragon? I don't even, the tools come out of my brain. As me, 7.2.
Confidence to have a go. That's what we like.
Love it, love it.
Rich overnight. Yeah, once you figured out how to use
I
it.
have no idea, April Louise, I have no idea what I must have just said words. I have no idea. But yes, wherever you publish, make sure you keep your logins. That's the other thing. If you want to have your own hosts and access, do that as well. I'm really trying to think, what was I talking about, April Louise?
We shall look back. Joanne, I'm going to say thank you very much. I'm going to stop recording this and say I'm going to pop this on YouTube later. So if you want to go back and find what that tool is, have a look at other sites, feel a bit, if you missed any of the prompts, it'll all be there on YouTube for you to access.